welcome. This is GK lecture series and the title for today's video is Important International Organizations. This video is divided in 4 different parts. In part 1, I shall tell you about the importance or the significance of this section, how important is this section for exams, especially the law entrance examination. In part 2, we shall adopt a focus area approach to arrive at some of the areas which you must pay attention to while preparing for this section. In part 3, I shall demonstrate the application of the focus area approach from part 2 on a simple international organization, and towards the end in part 4, I shall give you a preparation strategy, that is how do you prepare international organization for law entrance examinations. So let us begin with this video. International organization form a very important part of any law entrance examination. In fact, on a careful analysis, we realize that every year some 3 to 5 questions in GK sections are from international organization, and in some years it has also been observed that questions from international organizations were also featuring in legal aptitude section. So this is a very important section. Apart from number of questions which can go as high as 8 questions in CLAT 2012 and some 7 questions in CLAT 2008. If you look at natures of question from this section, they are mostly factual. So in CLAT 2015, they ask a question about the venue for BRICS summit. This is an easy question, but sometimes they also can ask an obscure or a lesser known fact about any organization. Say for example, in the same year there was a question where they asked in which city India signed Paris Climate Agreement. The choices given were New York, New Delhi, Paris and Geneva. And to your surprise, the correct answer wasn't Paris. It wasn't even New Delhi. The correct answer was New York. So you must pay attention even to the lesser known and obscure facts whenever you read about international organizations. Apart from factual questions, sometimes they also ask conceptual questions. And whenever they ask conceptual questions, they are mostly from the purpose or the objectives of establishment of any organization. We'll look at some of these questions in later part. In second part of this video, let us try to devise a method or a strategy by which you can prepare these organizations. I name this strategy as focus area approach. By that I mean that there are some specific areas which should be in focus whenever we are preparing international organizations. And according to my observation, these areas are 7 in number. Number 1, headquarters. Number 2, presiding officers or head of the organizations. Number 3, years of establishment of any organization. Number 4 is purpose or objective of establishment of any organization. Number 5 is the membership of that organization. Number 6 are the summits or the meetings or the conferences that have taken place in recent past or that are going to take place in future. And number 7 is any other salient feature of that organization. You know that every organization has some peculiarities specific to that organization, and sometimes question is also framed from these specific features of an organization, so you must pay attention to them also. To make the point clearer, let me show some of the questions from previous CLAT examinations. So in CLAT 2010, there was a question which asked about the headquarters of International Labour Organization. You know that this is an easy question, but sometimes they can increase the level of difficulty of the question by asking multiple facts as a part of one single question. In CLAT 2014, there was a match the following type of question where 4 organizations and 4 headquarter cities were given, and a student needed to match the cities with the correct organization. Now you see that as a part of one single question, they expect you to remember the headquarters of 4 different organizations. This is what I meant when I say that they can enhance the level of difficulty anytime. Questions from head of the organization is a regular feature in CLAT examination, and you must pay specific attention, especially when the new appointee is some sort of a first. For example, in CLAT 2012, there was a question that was, who was appointed as the first female head of International Monetary Fund. Similarly, in CLAT 2011, there was a question about who became the first female Secretary General of SARC. So, whenever there is some sort of first, that must be remembered by all the students. About the membership of an organization, in place of the total membership of an organization, what is more important from exams point of view is the change in membership. You know that every year certain new countries join any group and some countries leave that group also. For example, in 2016, Britain has left European Union. Similarly, in 2015, South Sudan has joined United Nations. Afghanistan has joined WTO. India and Pakistan are going to join Shanghai Cooperation Organization in 2016. So you must keep an eye open for these kind of developments because this is a regular feature in CLAT examination. Year of establishment of any organization is not very important because the generally direct question from this section is not asked, but remembering the year of an organization can help you in comparing which of the two organizations is older and in that sense more significant internationally. Whenever CLAT asks a conceptual question from this section, more often than not, the question is from this area of purpose or objective of establishment of any organization. Let me give you an example. In CLAT 2010, there were two questions. One was about which of the following is not a function of International Court of Justice, and another was which of the following is the purpose of establishment of Nagoya Protocol. And as you can see, these are not easy questions, so you must handle these questions with utmost care. A short question in CLAT is from summits, meetings, or conferences of important organizations that were held in last year or those that are going to be held in next year. These are mostly easy and factual in nature, but of late they have slightly increased the level of difficulty of these kind of questions. So whenever you are reading about summits and conferences, you must keep in mind the venue, the date, including the month and year, participants, as well as any important decisions that have been taken in those meetings. If you look at CLAT 2016, there was a question about COP21 of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. They asked about when was the summit held, and the choices given were pretty close. You can also see that when in CLAT 2012 they asked a question about BRICS summit that was held in India, the question asked was the month in which that summit was held. So you must remember not simply the year but months as well as dates. Apart from the above six sections, there is a seventh section also, which is based on the peculiarity or salient features of any organization. A lot of these organizations they release annual reports, surveys, indices. Some of them must have won awards in past year. Some must have appointed any celebrity as their brand ambassador. And some other organization they have special mechanisms like special drawing right in case of IMF or rounds of negotiations in case of WTO. So these must be paid attention to also. In second part of this video, we looked at a focus area approach. Now in third part, let us try to apply this approach in a simple international organization. I have taken one of the favorite of CLAT paper setter, that is World Trade Organization. Now what I want you to do is to create a similar table having 7 different rows and 2 different columns. So this is how we can use focus area approach to learn about World Trade Organization. In first row is written headquarter, which is Geneva. In second row is written the name and nationality of the presiding officer. He is Roberto Azevedo from Brazil. In third row is given the year of establishment of WTO, which is 1995. Here is a slight catch. I shall talk about that in a while. Number 4 is the purpose or objective of establishment, which is very clear from the name itself. The idea is to smooth line or to regulate world trade. Next row is about total membership of the group, which is 164 at the last count. And I told you in the beginning, you must remember the name of the new member, which in this case is Afghanistan. The most important meeting of WTO is called Ministerial Conference, and Ministerial Conference is held once every 2 years. So the last Ministerial Conference was held in 2015 at Nairobi, and the next would be held in 2017, the venue for which has yet not been announced. And about the salient features of WTO, look at these points. WTO started out as GATT way back in 1948, and after Uruguay round of negotiation, it was converted into WTO in the year 1995. You must remember that the year of establishment of WTO is not 1948, it is 1995. Because what was born in 1948 was GATT and not WTO. WTO operates through rounds of negotiation. So these rounds are just like the rounds in a boxing match or in a wrestling match. So one comes after another. Similarly, in WTO, there are various rounds. And the peculiarity about WTO is that next round does not begin till the time the earlier round finishes. So the last round, which was initiated in 2001, is called Doha round of negotiation, and this round has yet not been concluded. And now in part 4, the most crucial part of this entire video, that is, how do one prepare for international organizations. So my first piece of advice to you is to keep an open eye, read newspaper regularly and thoroughly, and look for all those organizations which were in news recently. A good starting point to read about these organizations can be their Wikipedia pages. For more authentic information, you can also visit their official websites. You must prepare a list of all these organizations as per the focus area approach or as per that grid that I've shown you in part 2 and part 3 of this video. For most authentic information, you can also refer to various GK manual that we also release. For more information, you can check our website. International organizations are an important part of every examination. Reading about them can be rewarding both in terms of gaining knowledge as well as fetching marks in examination. So keep learning, keep progressing. Good luck.